Did you know that in God's eyes, belief equals obedience? Let me explain. You see, when the nation of Israel got out of Egypt and Moses led them through the Exodus, and they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years trying to enter the promised land. But there was a constant cycle of a lack of faith in God that He would supply for their needs. There was a time where they wanted bread and clamored and cried for bread, and so God gave them manna. There was time where they cried out for water, and God gave them water out of a rock. There's a time where they cried out for meat, not just food in general, but meat specifically. So God gave them quail. And so there's another time when they cried out for water, and God gave them water more out of a rock. And so over and over and over again, when they're wandering in the wilderness, you see the people did not have faith that God was going to supply for their needs. It was a lack of faith. But in Hebrews 3, it takes that lack of faith and it uses it as an example of disobedience. So faith seems to equal obedience, like lack of faith seems to equal lack of obedience. Here's Hebrews 3. In verse 16, it says, "For who, having heard, rebelled? Indeed, was it not all who came out of Egypt led by Moses? Now, with whom was he angry 40 years? Was it not with those who sinned, whose corpses fell in the wilderness? And to whom did he swear that they would not enter his rest? But to those who did not obey. So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. He, in verse 18, says, those who did not obey. And then he says in verse 19, it was those who could not enter in because of unbelief. So God equates their lack of obedience in verse 18 to a lack of belief or a lack of faith in verse 19. So obedience equals faith. If you want to study more about that, please let us know. We'd be delighted to study with you. Give us an email at letthebiblespeak843@gmail.com, or you can text us at 843-553-5157.